Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mireya and I'm really excited to share some of my completed November pages for this month. I think I completed 11, which is a big win for any time I go into the double digits. Normally I won't be doing that. I'm excited to film this because the house is clean. My dog is sleeping. Hopefully you don't hear him snoring. I'll show you real quick. He's right behind me. Sleeping with Santa, or he was sleeping. I woke him up. Look how cute. He loves his Santa. We just got done playing outside, so he's a little tired. I do that on purpose so that he'll let me film in peace. The first book that I colored in is in Mouse Adventures by Morgan O'Brien. This is the first time I colored in a Morgan O'Brien coloring book. I found this book at the grocery store. I think it was at Walmart. This is a coloring book by Coloring Heaven, but it's the pocket size. And here's another book for reference. They're regular size books and they're pocket size books. I really like their pocket size books because they're kind of like palette cleansers, quick wins for when you just want to complete a page in one sitting. And I picked a page to color in this book because I was seeing all these posts on Instagram about Day of the Dead coloring pages on November 2nd, and I was feeling FOMO, especially because it's one of my favorite holidays ever. I was flipping through my coloring books to try to find something Day of the Dead related, and I found it in this book. And when I saw the page, I literally screamed because it was just the perfect page. Like, who would think to find a Day of the Dead picture in this coloring book? That's why I was so excited when I saw it, because it's just the cutest little picture ever. Here it is. It's my favorite page in this whole book. My first Morgan O'Brien illustration that I colored, and I'm really happy that it's this page because I am obsessed with Day of the Dead. And so it's really nice to see that here illustrated in this book. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the basing and Prismacolor pencils to shade and highlight. And I also used some acrylic paint markers for some of the details, like the glitter on the page and some of the white highlights. I colored this page in one sitting because I really wanted to post it on November 2nd, which is like the main day for Dia de los Muertos. And I think it came out really cute and colorful. Kind of want to color another page in this book for December. There's a couple of wintry pages in here, like this one. I think there's 3 of them. There's another one somewhere. This one, and there's another one back here too. This one right here. So I don't know, maybe I'll color one of those for December. Mouse Adventures by Morgan O'Brien. Then I colored in Color My Crown by Raw Sushi. She has these books on her website, and if they're not available as hard copies, she does have them available as digital downloads. I colored this page. I was almost done with it in October. I just needed to finish the eyes and the lips. I used the Artix pastel markers, the Oros alcohol markers for the background, the flowers, and her outfit. And then I used Grabby skin tone markers for her skin. I did use Prismacolors for some contouring on the skin. For this page, I was trying to find like a happy medium because normally contouring skin will take me forever, but I didn't go as heavy on the contouring on her face like I normally do in some other books. Let me just show you some of the other ones I've colored just for reference in some other books. I hope it's okay to show you some of my older completed pages. This is from Coloring with Coco Volume 8. This is just to show some of the portraits I've colored in the past where I'll normally spend a longer time contouring the face. For this one, I remember I used alcohol markers to base, and I tried out my Holbein color pencils for the contouring on the face. I was really into doing monochrome portraits at this time, as you'll see on some of my other pages. This one I colored with alcohol markers for the basing and contoured the skin with Prismacolors. I do have to use reference photos because I would not be able to contour skin. I would not know how to highlight or shade the skin without using reference photos. So that's what helps me get a more realistic look. And then another one I'm really proud of is this one right here. I think she looks so good. Again, it was with alcohol marker basing and Prismacolors for the contouring. And for Coco's books, I tend to go for more realistic coloring just because her illustrations are more realistic looking, which is different from Color My Crown because her illustrations are more like on the cartoony side, which I love too. I feel like both versions are very fun and relaxing to color depending on what mood I'm in. So this is like kind of my happy medium of where I'm trying to find a way where I can contour their skin to kind of look a little bit realistic, but not so much like a real person, since she doesn't have like realistic features. I love both art styles so very much. Then I colored in Modern Manga Coloring Book by Lidia Cambon. For this page, I took inspiration from Piggy Pens. She did a collage style page on one of Hannah Carlson's coloring books, and it looks so good and amazing. I'll include her picture here on the left side. I wanted to try it as well. I even got myself some stickers to try it out, and I think it came out pretty good for my first time. I colored this page with the Ohuhu Honolulu Plus markers, which are kind of similar to Copics. I don't have Copics, but I've heard that they perform in a similar way, and I like using those markers on this book to contour faces because I find that they are less streaky when I'm trying to contour the face. And then I put a whole bunch of stickers on there and washi tape wherever I thought made sense. When I was done with this page, I didn't really like it all that much, but when I look at it now, I'm pretty happy with it. I like it a whole lot more now. It was something new and different, and I want to try it out again. I really want to try to go more for like a vintage style collage page like Piggy Pens did. I think they just look so good, like they are part of a photo album in the olden times. I've been having a lot of fun coloring in this book. I think I've colored 4 pages so far. Anytime I have a good time coloring in a book, I tend to reach for it again for the next month. So I don't know, I might do that again for December. I just don't know what page I would color. And that was in Modern Manga Coloring Book by Lidia Cambon. I also colored in 50 Autumn Miniatures by Camelia Angelkova, and this was one of my uncolored books. And I took inspiration from Jess at Coloring Bumblebee. Her circle backgrounds look so good, so thank you, Jess, for that inspo. I think the coloring pages look so good when they have some sort of shape enclosing the illustration, and I wanted to give that a try. I picked this page because I wanted something easier and simple to color, like a palette cleanser page, and I just wanted to have fun with colors. I colored this with Ohuhu alcohol markers, Prismacolor pencils, and some acrylic paint markers for some of the outlines and the snow. I had a lot of fun coloring this page because it's so colorful and vibrant. I think I want to color another page in one of her books, probably in a different coloring book, because Camelia's coloring books are always so relaxing to color. Then I colored a very super easy coloring page in Simple Winter by Alexandra Francis. These are some of the pages I colored last year. I'm sharing them now because I don't know if you'll ever get to see them. And I really like how some of them turned out, like this one. I did change quite a bit on this one. So it didn't have the candy canes before. The roof didn't have the frosting. Anything like the peppermints weren't there before. The little candies, the star, the bow. Those are all things that I added to Christmasify the page. And then this one I colored last year as well. And I also really like this one. Very simple and easy to color, and yet it looks so fun. And I wanted to show this because I tend to get the staining with the Grabby and Shuttle Art alcohol markers. Not with all their markers, it's just anything with an orange hue in their marker. Some of the browns, some of the reds that have that orange hue will do the staining as well. I don't have like every alcohol marker brand, but from the ones that I do have, I know that Grabby and Shuttle Art does that. My Ohuhu alcohol markers don't tend to do that. Like this one has some staining as well because I use Grabby or Shuttle Art markers. So I'm curious to know if anyone else has experienced that with any of their markers. It's just annoying. This kind of staining happens weeks after. So even if you protect your page at the time of coloring with a cardstock in the back, it still happens weeks later when you take that cardstock paper out. Even if I take the cardstock out like a week later, it still ends up happening as I leave my book sitting on the shelf without that cardstock in the back. It's really annoying, and I would rather not deal with that. But the page I colored for November is this one. I remember I put my Christmas tree. I was feeling nostalgic. I love putting up my Christmas tree. It just makes me feel like a kid again, and I was reminiscing about the times when I used to color as a kid. I used to color a lot during the holidays during school because of all the vacation days they give us during that time. I used Crayola markers and Crayola crayons, where a lot of us in the 90s, I know people still do that now, but I feel like it was a big 90s thing, maybe in the 80s too. People used to outline their pages, like press down very hard with crayon or outline with their markers, and then fill in the space with crayons or cheap color pencils. And I remember I learned that from my cousin at the time. I think I was 5 or 6, and I just absolutely fell in love with how her page looked with this technique, that thereafter that's what I would do for all my pages. I remember coloring in my Barbie books and Garfield coloring books. So I just kind of wanted to revisit that and try it on this page. Very quick and simple to do. So that's Simple Winter by Alexandra Francis. And then the next book I colored is also by Alexandra Francis. I picked this book because I was looking for a page for the November Mad Tea Party hashtag created by this wonderful group of ladies here. I was flipping through my books trying to find something that would fit that hashtag, and I found it in this book, this page right here. I did change a few things on this page to better fit the theme. I'll try to include a picture of what the page looked like before. I changed the cat to look like the Cheshire cat. I did make her hair a little bit longer, gave her a nose and some lips.
Remember, the magic of Christmas lies in your heart.
That's my dog. Still sleeping in his bed. I added the little cards and the pocket watch. I changed the hat to make it look more like a top hat. I half painted the rose red. Let's see what else. I changed her outfit a little bit. What was supposed to be a quick palette cleanser page ended up being like a whole project, which I really enjoyed. I love doing these challenges. It's not something I would do a lot before, mostly because I didn't know about them ever since I started watching YouTube videos and found like all these hashtags people do. It's just very motivating. It's fun to flip through your books and see what you can find to fit these hashtags. I colored this page with Ohuhu alcohol markers for basing, Prismacolor pencils, and acrylic markers to hide some of the outlines, and also added some metallics in there. I was using this page to kind of test some of my other color pencils too, because primarily I'll use Prismacolor pencils in the Amazon paper quality coloring books, because I've tried luminance before and they feel kind of scratchy on Amazon paper, even though they are higher quality than the Prismacolors. Prismacolors still feel better on this paper than the luminance. I did color some of the elements in this book with ChromaFlow, which were okay, but not as good as the Prismacolors. I felt like the ChromaFlow in this book were not as smushy for blending like the Prismacolors, but I think that goes for any book where Prismacolors are just always smushy for blending. So I still prefer the Prismacolors over the ChromaFlow for Amazon paper coloring books. I still have to try the Color Soft, but so far I've noticed that anything with kind of a harder lead, like oil-based pencils, feel scratchy in these books by Amazon. And then I colored in Bunnies and Dragons. Bunnies and Dragons by Heather Gross. This book was a gift by the publishers earlier in the year before the book was released. This book was released in April, but only in some countries. In the US, it was released in August. So I colored this page when I was testing out the markers, alcohol markers, to see how they blend. The markers blend so beautiful on this kind of paper. And then I colored this page a while back using Shuttle Art acrylic markers. And the one that I colored for the month of November, and I chose this page to test the new Ohuhu acrylic markers, Kalalau, which is these ones right here, and I like them. I think they're pretty good markers. I love their storage case. They pull out like little drawers. These are brush tips, but they do have a bullet tip set if that's what you prefer, and I think they're nice. I still prefer the Nahukus over this set. The Nahukus, they come in a 24 set, and now they recently came out with a 48 set, and I still like these better. These are also brush tip, and I just find that these are more opaque than these ones. So I'm trying to figure out what the real big difference between them. So these come in a bullet tip. as well as a different option. They come with 30 colors, but this one has 48, but they do have some duplicates of the white and the black. So there's really like 44 colors in this set, but still it's more colors in this one. And these are more opaque in my opinion. Maybe these ones hold more ink. I don't know, but so far I like these a whole lot better. I was doing a video for Ohuhu where, you know, kind of just demonstrating what you can do with acrylic markers, like change colors, where you don't have to be scared of starting a page, because in the end, if you don't like the way it looks, you can always use acrylic markers to change things up, which is what I did. It was different colors before, like the cups were red, the trim around the window was a different color. The colors didn't go well together, so I used the acrylic markers to hide all that and change the colors up, which is kind of like the point of the video, just trying to show that it's not over. You can still change things when you have acrylic markers. Then I colored in Embrace the Beauty by Guinea Mossman. This book was gifted to me by the publishing company Blue Star Press. Normally this isn't something I would reach for. I normally don't like coloring pages with quotes, but something about the cover in this book really inspired me to try it out with acrylic markers, and seems very just relaxing to color, mindless coloring. So I gave it a try on this page, and all I used was acrylic paint markers. I used the Enme acrylic paint markers and then a Grabby acrylic paint marker for the glitter or the metallic, and it was really fun and relaxing to color. I was able to color it all in one sitting, and I really like how it turned out. I really love the graphic look of the cover image, so I kind of want to take inspiration from the artist and her artwork to color some of these other pages. Just really flat, relaxing, mindless coloring. Because if you go to her Instagram page, her quotes and her color palettes look amazing. So I would really want to try that out in this book. I'm really grateful for this book because you don't know if you're gonna like something unless you try it out. I could look at a book and say, oh yeah, that's not for me, but until you try it out, you know, I found this page to be actually like one of the most relaxing pages to color compared to every single other page that I have colored for this month. And then I colored in The Best of Pop Manga coloring book by Camila de Erico. I actually got this book on Amazon Prime Day for like $7 US, so I had to snatch that up because this one had been on my wish list for a while. And this page I picked specifically for the November hashtag created by Piggy Pens. It was to color horses for November instead of Christmas pages. Even though I did color kind of some wintry pages for this month, but so did she. And this is the page I chose, even though technically it's more like a Pegasus. I used ink tints to base the horse, which ink tints in this book works great. There's no bleed through. And then I shaded the horse with Prismacolor pencils over the ink tints. I don't know if it's the ink tints or the paper in this book, but Prismacolors feel so great on top of the ink tints. It feels like almost a chalky texture. It just makes blending super easy. And then for the rest of the background, I used acrylic paint markers, the new ones I mentioned earlier, just to try them out a little bit more. But yeah, they were nice. They were really fun to use on this paper. It did warp a little bit, so I placed the book under heavy books to kind of flatten the page out. Originally, I had planned to do a different kind of background to also make it like a really dark background, like the color of the horse. But then I changed my mind. I wanted to do something fun and colorful. I was flipping through my books looking for a horse page, and then I found this one and felt really inspired to color it because of the November hashtag by Piggy Pens. So yeah, I think hashtags are so much fun to color, so I'm gonna keep an eye out on more of them and find any others that give me inspiration. It helps me stay out of that coloring slump when you find something that inspires you or that you want to participate in. So that's The Best of Pop Manga coloring book by Camila de Erico. And then I colored in Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo. I actually started this page earlier in the month because I knew it was going to take me forever, so I've been coloring bits and pieces of it, and it's this page right here. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I based with Ohuhu alcohol markers and shaded with color pencils, Prismacolors. And then I added some acrylic paint marker details and a few glitter accents with a Grabby acrylic paint marker. But yeah, I really enjoyed coloring this page. I was trying to go for like a Lulu's Thanksgiving and she has all her friends helping her out. I try to go with like a Christmassy color palette, you know, because they're already in the mood for the holidays, and so they already have their house kind of set up in like a Christmas color palette theme. So yeah, this page took quite a while. I was coloring bits and pieces every day. So far I have 3 pages completed in this book, and it feels so good to flip through them when you have several pages completed in them. Like this one's the first one I colored, and then this is the second one I colored, and then I want to color another one for the month of December, and it's going to be the dragon page because I need a little bit of a easier page this month. That Thanksgiving one took forever, and I want to color something a little bit more simple. Like I mentioned in my last video, I kind of want to make this book my project book where I'll try to color a page every month until the end of next year, 2026, but we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try, but yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna color that dragon for the month of December. The last page I colored is in this coloring book, but because the paper in this book is so bad, I tend to scan the page and print them out. What I've been doing is Disney mashups where I'll pick a character and color them to look like they are from a different Disney movie. I colored Merida from Brave. Can you guess who it's gonna be? Little Teapot. It was suggested on my TikTok to turn Merida into Mad Hatter, which I thought was a perfect combination. This one took quite a while because the Mad Hatter has a whole bunch of details in his outfit. I added the hat, the bow on her chest, the little spools on the belt, the teapot and the teacup, these ribbons. Took me a while to get her started. I had planned to do this one months ago. I just been procrastinating because the Mad Hatter has so much details in his outfit. I just couldn't find the motivation to get her started. I don't know if it's because of all the details. I know what it is. It's because these require a whole lot of thinking, and sometimes I just don't want to think. I want to color. I have to think about how to change up her outfit. I have to think about all the details I need to add, how to best make the outfit work so it can fit the Mad Hatter theme. And this goes for all of these mashups. You know, they're really fun when I'm in the mood to draw and sketch everything out and hide the line work, but man, when I'm just looking to color without any mental power involved, it can be really hard to get these started. So I really had to push myself on this one because I really want to do at least one a month. But once I got her started, it was easier to finish it through. It's usually just that initial part of, you know, sketching everything out to try to see how it would best work, and once I get past that, it becomes a whole lot easier to finish. It took a couple of days, but it was all I was able to work on because I wanted to once I got her started. She's actually one of my favorite ones. My all-time favorite one, though, I still think it's The Little Mermaid with a Jack Skellington mashup, and then I think it's this one, just because I think they are the coolest looking transformations. I have an idea of what I want to do next for December, and it's gonna be for this page for Moana. I think I'm already seeing myself where I have to push myself to get her started, but I already have a plan on what I want her to be. We'll see if I can actually make myself get her started, because once I get past that point, once I actually get her started, it becomes a whole lot easier to just color these through. But yeah, it'll be related to a movie that comes out in December. The next books I want to talk about are not completed pages, but they are pages that I started hoping I would finish them for the month of November, but they are still work in progresses. So I based this using watercolors. I think it was Inktense, which works so beautifully in this book. I don't know if it's because I got a better hang of them, or if it's because this book just does so well with watercolors. So you can see that with the Inktense there was no bleed through over on the next page. What I did notice though when I was using my Prismacolor pencils is that I didn't really like how they felt on this paper, which is crazy for Prismacolors. They usually work on everything, but they just kind of felt weird on this paper. I didn't really like how they felt compared to in other books. I'm gonna try to see how other pencils work in this book. If you already know and have a favorite kind of pencil to use in this book, let me know. I would like to give that a try. And this is actually the first page ever that I am coloring in a Emelie Lidehall Oberg coloring book. I kind of lost motivation for this page. I don't know why, but I'm gonna try to find it for the month of December because I actually really love how it's turning out so far. The next book that I started a page on is In Bloom by Ali Koch. By Ali Koch. By Ali Koch. Sorry, by Ali. And this book, along with this one, was also gifted by Blue Star Press. I never colored in a book by Ali before. I've seen these before on other people's YouTube channels, so I was excited to give them a go. This is a page that I started. I'm using different kinds of mediums like acrylic paint markers, alcohol markers, and color pencils just to try to test the paper out. I seen Axique Fumbles color in this book. She has this one, I think it's this page. She colored it so beautifully. Feeling inspired because of the beautiful page that she already colored in this book. I was hoping to finish this one in time for November, but this is how far I got. Hopefully I can finish it next month. I'm very grateful to Blue Star Press for letting me try these books out. Normally it's not something I would reach for, I think, but like I mentioned before, it's fun and I think it's important to try something that you might normally not reach for because who knows, you might end up liking it. It's good to try something different too. This book is about drawing flowers and I did give it a try. In one of these pages, oh here it is. The steps are really easy to follow. Camellia flower? Camellia? And these are the steps that you follow to draw that flower. And this is the one that I drew, which I think came out pretty good. So I'm excited to practice and learn how to draw some flowers because maybe I can use these to add to my coloring pages. So that's it. That's everything I colored for the month of November. I wish I could make more YouTube videos every month. It's just that at this time, I can just manage to do one with all the other things I've been working on. Hopefully with time, I can get faster at this, at the editing. Gosh, the editing part just takes me forever because I stutter a lot and I take all that out. I don't want you to hear all that because I have a lot of pauses in my videos. I don't know. I can't think on my feet until I get better on talking in these videos. I think it'll become faster once I get more comfortable. It's just kind of like my brain freezes sometimes on what I want to say. And a lot of times it's just I'll say gibberish and so it doesn't flow smoothly. So there is a lot of editing involved for now. Until then, I'm gonna still try to do at least one a month. And I hope you like them. I know I love seeing other people's videos for their completed pages and a whole lot of other things that they do. Very inspiring to find your group of people that understand this passion, and it's so great to be a part of that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great December. Don't stress too much over the holidays, and thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.